Beautifully delectable vanilla. One of the most widely used sweet notes in perfumery. It's hard not to enjoy a good vanilla fragrance, and there are a lot of them out there. And in this video, I definitely want to discuss 10 of my favorites with you. So stay tuned. Before I jump into the first one, I just want to make it a point to say that, are you going to agree with everything in this video? Possibly. Are some of your favorites going to be missing from here? Possibly. But this is just some of my favorites that have a dominant vanilla note of what's in my collection. I do have many more that could have made this video, but I narrowed it down to 10 of my favorites. Some of these may shock you, some of these may not. But let's get into the first one. So with the first one, when this video goes live, this is actually going to be my scent of the day because I've decided this is what I want to wear. I haven't pulled it out in a while. Underrated, for sure. From MANCERA. AOUD Vanille. Oud, strong woods, smokiness, some beautiful vanilla. Very unisex, but very, very beautiful. It smells like vanilla and burning wood. It just does. Gotta smell it floating in the air. It's potent, it's long lasting, it's in the beast mode realm for projection as well. You can find them for a really good price from discounters, Venba Fragrances down below, places like that. Underrated. I did a review on this at the beginning of the year. I'll actually put that video right there if you want to check it out. Much, much older, different setup, not even in the same room. But what I have to say about the fragrance doesn't change. This is a beautiful, beautiful vanilla dominant fragrance that has a lovely oud that's supported. It's not heavily medicinal. It does have a little bit of a pencil shaving kind of thing going on with it. But like I said, it smells like burning wood and vanilla. It's like roasting marshmallows by a fire almost. It's kind of where it takes me. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance that pretty much nobody really talks about. One that you should check out this fall and this winter for sure, because as things are cooling down, stuff like this is what you're going to pull out. Beautiful, beautiful vanilla fragrance from MANCERA. That's very underrated. That's AOUD Vanille. Next is an absolute favorite. This is a very popular fragrance for very good reason, because you gotta love vanilla, because between the vanilla and the tonka bean, it's super sweet vanilla. It's Armani Code Absolute, the gold bottle. This stuff is extremely vanilla and a whole lot of tonka bean. You have to like a good tonka bean fragrance. This is one of those. That's the heart of the Armani Code DNA is tonka bean, but it's got an extremely dominating vanilla note. The sweetness is amplified with this one. This is one of the sweetest fragrances in this video. So you gotta have a good sweet tooth for your fragrances, because this is all of that and then some. And it's a beast mode performer. Super long lasting, extremely loud. You don't need a lot of sprays, but it has a certain level of seduction because of the sweetness. If your lady likes sweet fragrances on you, she'll like Armani Code Absolute on you for sure. Another one that this is far from an underrated, underutilized, hidden gem type of fragrance. This is wildly popular, and for good reason. This is a fantastic designer vanilla fragrance that you can get for a pretty good price at discounters. Depends on the bottle size and where you get it, but you're not going to break the bank on this one, and it's a very good version of the Armani Code DNA. The sweetness is amped way up compared to the other ones, even amped up from Profumo because of that dominant vanilla. And once again, from Giorgio Armani, that's Armani Code Absolute. Now, this is one of my more recent pickups in the last 4 months or so. 3 to 4 months, about 3 months, something like that. And I had no idea just how much you could make a vanilla note give a sunscreen vibe. Some of you may know where I'm going when I say that. Juliet Has a Gun, vanilla vibes. Sea salt and a beautiful vanilla. This will transport you to the beach. The gradient design's fitting the sand, the water, the sky. That's what I get when I look at the bottle and when I smell the fragrance. It's beautiful. It's a delectable vanilla that starts off smelling like a sweet sunscreen. As strange as that sounds, it's delightful. It smells awesome. It really does. It performs pretty well. It's not too loud. but it's definitely long lasting for being a summer style fragrance, but it's got enough density and sweetness there to really work year round. If you love the way this smells, you can wear it anytime, really, because the vanilla is dominant in here, hence the name Vanilla Vibes. You're definitely getting a strong vanilla vibe with this fragrance. Very unisex. Anybody can wear this one, any age. It's an extremely easy wear and an extremely likable vanilla for sure. Make sure you check this one out. There's links below for this as well. You can get it from Twisted Lily, and that's Juliet Has a Gun, Vanilla Vibes. Calling all you iris lovers. Technically this is orris, which is the root of the iris flower. But the sweetness in this one is reminiscent of the older vintage style Dior Homme Intense, when they used to have a vanilla note to amplify that, to have that sweetness to go with the iris. Well, this is Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum, where this has a lot of resins, but a dominating vanilla note to go with that orris, and it is beautiful. Oh, man. You iris lovers, this is pretty much a must-have, in my opinion. If you're a fan of iris and orris style fragrances, and you also like vanilla, this Valentino Uomo Intense, vintage Dior Homme Intense, they're all in the same realm, because they have that same style of iris, a little bit of leather, well in this one's case some resins, and vanilla, a lot of vanilla. This just works. This is a compliment machine. It's very formal, but not too formal. It can be dressed down, whereas with Dior Homme Intense, that's a bit more formal than this one, in my personal opinion. And you can have this one for such a good price, in that 40s to 50s range from discounters. And like I said, iris lovers that enjoy a good vanilla, very difficult to beat with Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum. Alright fellas, this is definitely going to be a challenging one for some of you. For those of you that don't mind a strong floral fragrance, a feminine touch in the opening, you'll love this one because the dry down is amazing. It's another one from MANCERA, Black Vanilla. So they have a white peach with a strong jasmine that gives this one a very feminine opening. I'll be the first to admit it. The opening smells very, very feminine. But the dry down, the transition and dry down of this fragrance is gorgeous. If you like floral fragrances, especially fragrances dominated with a creamy vanilla. This is a very, like a picture an air whipped vanilla frosting almost, where it's light, creamy, and airy. That's a good way to describe the vanilla that's in here. Authentic and just so dominating, with that beautiful jasmine note that does tone down a little bit so the vanilla can kind of really come to the forefront and become the star. But in the opening, there's a little underlying vanilla, but that white peach, the black currant, and that jasmine really dominate this fragrance. Black currant hangs out for a long time in this. Nothing else smells like black vanilla to me. I haven't smelled another vanilla fragrance that smells like this. Unisex is an understatement. It is a unisex fragrance. It definitely leans towards the ladies. It's definitely more on the feminine side. But a confident man, you won't smell like anybody else around you with MANCERA Black Vanilla. I can assure you of that. We go from a more feminine vanilla fragrance to a much, much more masculine vanilla-dominated fragrance. VIKTOR and ROLF, SPICEBOMB Extreme. Spicy vanilla is a good way to look at it, because that's what it smells like. It has a dominant vanilla note for the sweetness, because this is much sweeter than the original SPICEBOMB, and it's due to that prominent vanilla note. But the beauty of it is, for you spicy fragrance lovers, guilty as charged. There's a whole bunch of spice in this bad boy. This is one of the best spicy fragrances on the market. Hell, if you're only going to get one from the SPICEBOMB line, it's hard to argue against getting this one versus the original. And look, I like all of them in the line. They all have their uses. This is definitely the best one. And you've heard a lot of people talk about it for very good reason. This is a damn good fragrance. It performs. It's masculine and spicy, but has a lovely sweet seduction from that added vanilla. Compliment machine. It's powerful. It's just hard to argue with and hard to beat. VIKTOR and ROLF, SPICEBOMB Extreme. I just realized I pretty much set these up as niche designer, niche designer, niche designer. That was totally by accident, I assure you, because we just went from a high-level designer to a niche fragrance. Now, with this one, vanilla is not the only thing you're going to get, but it also has a strong benzoin that adds more vanillic vibes and scents to the profile. So it's got a strong benzoin, a strong vanilla, but it's also got a prominent tobacco and cognac note. Some of you may know where I'm going with this from ROJA Parfums, Creation E, Parfum Cologne, also known as Enigma, across the pond. This, man. One of the best cold weather fragrances money can buy. It's not cheap. Even at discounters, you're going to pay around $230. Then the fragrances down below has them. Oh, man. But it's so damn good. It really is. Coke Float, Cherry Coke, Dr. Pepper Float, Dr. Pepper Vibe, all those ways that it's described, absolutely. Because you know what's at the heart of a Coke Float, a Dr. Pepper Float? Vanilla ice cream. Strong vanilla. The benzoin, that vanillic, the benzoin's got that, adds that fizzy pop of, picture pouring a Coke Float or a Dr. Pepper Float and the foam that's going to create from the soda hitting that vanilla ice cream. That's kind of what the benzoin does for you. So I've always understood where everybody's coming from with those comparisons. And if any of that sounds good to you and you've never tried this before, this is a damn good fragrance, and you should at least get a decant to try it for yourself, because I understand it's expensive to commit to a full bottle with the risk of you not liking it. So there's many ways to find decants and samples all over the place online. Try it out. This is definitely full bottle worthy. Because of the price, I wouldn't recommend blind buying it, but if you like vanilla fragrances that just have so much going for it, so much character and complexity, Creation E from ROJA Parfums, Parfum Cologne Collection. It's one of the best fragrances in the world, in my opinion anyways. Now this one may surprise some of you, because if you really think about the note breakdown and you smell it, you're like, wow, you're right, that is a dominating vanilla note. Coach Platinum. Yes, the way I like to describe this one is picture Sauvage and add a bunch of vanilla and some pineapple. You get Coach Platinum. It's pretty much how I've always looked at it. That's the easiest way to describe it to somebody, because a lot of people have smelled Sauvage. Not everybody smelled Coach Platinum, and I stand by that being the best way to describe this one. Does it perform like Sauvage? No. Am I going anosmic to it and maybe it performs better than I think? That's a strong possibility, because after about 5 hours I don't really smell it much anymore, but I will get whiffs of it 2 and 3 hours after that, so into the 7-8 hour range. So I guess it kind of does perform that well. But if you're looking for a sweeter version of Sauvage, around mid-30s, right under $40, will get you a 100 ml of this. I think Kingdom Fragrances has some of them right now too. If not, FragranceNet always has them. Sellers on eBay, Fragrance X, places like that. Definitely in that cheapie territory if you consider under 40 cheapies. This is a fantastic cheapie, a fantastic vanilla dominant cheapie too. It's like vanilla heavy and pineapple induced Sauvage. Coach Platinum. Check it out. So if Creed's Green Irish Tweed and Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille would hook up, get a little frisky, make a baby bottle, let it mature a little bit, grow up, what fragrance do you think you might end up with? Some of you may have guessed it. Happy Land's Green Irish Tobacco. You know, there's a lot of hybrid fragrances out there, and this is by no means a mashup of those two exact fragrances. This is kind of inspired by both of those put together with a twist. It has a gorgeous creamy tobacco and vanilla with the aromatic floral nature, soapy floral nature of Green Irish Tweed. Top 5 fragrance from Happy Land Studio, as I've told you guys before in videos. This one's fantastic. It really is. Performs, as you can see by that massive spray from the atomizer. You don't need many sprays. They're extrait to parfum concentration. You're going to get 10 to 12 hours longevity. For most people, even people with dry skin, are going to get 6 to 8 hours. Bare minimum. I mean ashy, crazy dry skin We'll still get 6 to 8 hours from this because the oil concentration is so high. And it's one of the more versatile fragrances from Happy Land. This is a great work fragrance as well, especially if you like either of the fragrances I mentioned that it smells like a combination of. Once again, that's Green Irish Tobacco from Happy Land Studio. Last but not least, this is definitely one of, if not my favorite vanilla heavy fragrance because it's so creamy, so beautiful, so powerful. And I have a few different versions of it, but I just love me some Parfums de Marly Pegasus. Vanilla and almond. Done so well. And look. Oh, man. And look, I have Al Haramain's Portfolio Series Royale Stallion. Every time I mention either one of these, people are like, oh, Armough's Craze, Armough's Craze. Yeah, Armough's Craze is basically a clone of this. It smells really good. The quality's not quite there, in my opinion. That's a bit more synthetic smelling than Al Haramain Portfolio Series Royale Stallion. That's a spot on version of this. The quality's there. That's the biggest thing for me, is the quality's there with the performance and scent profile. But if you want the absolute highest quality for this scent DNA and the scent profile, you got to go with the originator. Pegasus, you can get them for a good price in that mid 100s range. They always have some bottles available, tester bottles and stuff like that from Vinba Fragrances. That's the one-stop shop for me when it comes to grabbing gray market niche and getting them at a discounted rate. That's where this bottle came from. And I'm telling you, if you like almond, you like vanilla, it's kind of a cold fragrance. This one's not warming, this one's cold. It gives a chilling type of feel. And it's a little milky, and that may sound strange to you, but try it. This thing's a compliment machine in the air. In my experience, women love the way this thing smells, and I definitely love the way this smells too. Last but not least was definitely Parfums de Marly Pegasus. Well guys, that's my 10 picks, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. I accidentally hit the microphone. I don't know what that sounded like right before I did my little thing, so I apologize if it made a weird sound because I did hit the microphone. I have it right there. I don't wear it on my lapel anymore, well, my neckline anymore, but that's besides the point. So how many of these do you have or have you tried? I'm sure some of your favorites aren't on here. As with the tobacco video I did a few days back, I got the same thing. Man, how's this not on there? How's that not on there? And just like I did in this video, I'm like, hey, some of your favorites may not be on here. This is just my opinions from what's in my collection. That's all it is. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these fragrances and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.